You got it, buddy.
No one.
No one to help you? Oh, jeez. So far, Spirit has said poem, Thomas, observe, Sharon, spells, Ouija board, help me, no one. We got a special one for you today. Well, they're all special. They're all special. Hello, collective. Welcome to Patience with Spirit. My name is Patience. I am your favorite psychic spirit medium, host of Spirit News on Spotify, where we teach you about your non physical energy. Ooh, the air just got a little dense. Got a little dense in here. You know what? Let me just clear the air. Holy Divine Spirit, please remove any negative energy that doesn't want us to read it. I don't like that feeling. Please remove any energy that isn't matching my own or higher and seal it with love and light. Thank you so much. Yeah, that was weird. Came like a wave of heaviness on my chest. Like it was sitting on me. I cast you out. Get out of here. Get out of here. Hello. Thank you for being here. So, listen, today I love you so much. I just want to say that first and foremost. I love you so much. I am so blessed. I'm so grateful to be here. My name is Patience. I am a spirit medium. I do have the ability to talk to loved ones from the other side, and I repressed this gift up until 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. I'm 41 now, and I was guided by my spirit team to develop it, to empower myself, to admit to myself, to uh, be authentic to myself, even if it came with some misunderstandings about who I am. But though we have overcome that period of this position I'm in.
Probably not.
Oh, Spirit said probably not. New levels, new devils. Spirit always says, "Hey Angie, hey, thanks for being here. New day." So we're using this platform to not only develop our psychic abilities, but to show you that everybody's psychic. Everybody is psychic. Everybody has the ability to be psychic. Everybody is psychic. What we have labeled as psychic is your non physical energy. We have a podcast on Spotify called Spirit News where we teach you about your non physical energy. If you want the more metaphysical side of who you are, all of that information is on our podcast. You can find all of our socials in the description bar through the link tree. We would love to have you be a part of our community, all our soul family, everyone who's being activated at this time, coming into heart consciousness. Hello, Marie Layworker. Thanks for being here. And we're so happy to be at this level of consciousness and our Christ consciousness to be able to show you what it looks like. Not for you to do it like us, but to show you that it's being done and you're not alone. And everyone is becoming activated and everyone's at different levels. And it's up to you to have the awareness that that's happening. It's going to feel really emotional. You're going to have a lot of people around you that maybe are looking at you different or treating you different, or it's because we did a time shift and people who are at a certain level of consciousness have jumped timelines to their highest versions of themselves. So people of the past that weren't matching that vibration are going to be cast aside because they didn't want to come. As a spider comes down slowly,
Supernatural.
there's a spider that has just come down from the rafters. I don't know if you can see it. Spider, can you see it? I don't know if you can see it. It's coming down slowly. I don't know. Spirit just said supernatural. Listen, little guy. You know what? I'm going to have to get this guy outside, okay? Because I don't want to kill it, but I don't want it around. Okay, I'll be right back. Alrighty. I sense a very strong energy from you. I feel emotional about your face. Well, probably just feel emotional in general. I don't know if it's my face, but I'm sorry. I don't know. So that was odd. There's a spider coming down to either to spy on us or to help us. I don't know. Give us a little bit of untangling from a web. We're definitely going into new energy, so we're just here to help. We're just here to show you what that looks like. Everybody's going to be different, but we just hope that it activates within you a knowing, an acknowledgement of your non physicalness, and so you can be your own leader of discernment. So you can know at all times if someone's being deceptive, if somebody is truthful, if somebody's not, because in this time we're in, we're starting to realize that a lot of the people we put on a pedestal are in fact not what we thought they were. as as time goes on, you're going to see that a lot of people who are walking in a certain kind of light are not who they said they were. They're not who they pretended to be, and it's going to show us that we often give our power away to people that we believe are walking in divinity or high moral fiber, or but really these people, you know, that we put on a pedestal, that we give celebrity to, or that we treat very special, are not uh, the ones we should be looking up to. You should be looking up to yourself. You should be the compass of your moral fiber. You should be the one that stands in the upright. Absolutely, Spirit says that stands in the upright, that you look to for your own guidance, that you know better than anyone, and that you know will always make the right decision based on what's morally right. And so morals flew out the window long ago. The spider was manifesting. I'm saying you're cute. Oh, thank you. She wanted to say, hey, I'll help catch that negative stuff for you. Yeah. Yeah, it was cute. It was cute. I never wanna unalive a spider because I there was a dream I had once about spider beings, and somewhere in the universe there could possibly be spider beings that are actually very intelligent, that are giant, that aren't little but they're giant, and they're actually benevolent. And so every time I see a spider now, I want to be scared, but I know deep down there's something there about it. So anyway, I digress. I love you guys. Morals flew out the window long ago. Yeah, but that's what the time we're going into. So that's heart consciousness. Heart consciousness is about abstaining or upholding your morals, about doing what's right, about not choosing money over somebody you care about, or not throwing someone under the bus, or not hurting people. I'm rolling down the road and listening. Oh, Robin, hello. Maria's too. I'm just like the radio, you know? I'm tuning in. I'm the radio dial. You're tuning into Spirit. Spirit news, higher perspective of linear views. Spirit news. C, Spirit just said C. 90% of spiders can't penetrate the skin. You know, I think we make a big deal about spiders because of some war we had or something. Because in my dream, there was like this war against humans and spiders. And it was a misunderstanding. There's some, I don't remember all the details, but there's some kind of misunderstanding. And I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not, but I did have a dream about it. Anyway. So, yeah, scratch. Sorry. I'm neurodivergent. Neurospicy. I'm getting distracted. Oh, I love you, Robin. Thank you. Thank you so much. Know about spiders. I feel same. Other planets, spider creatures of love, right? Yeah, I swear. In the dream, they were benevolent, and there was some kind of misunderstanding that led us to fight. And now there's some weird fear about spiders, but it's just a fear. So yesterday I did a reading of Kate Spade. You can go watch that. That was a great read. It was very insightful when it comes to mental health and when it comes to energy manipulation. We learn that, I mean, we are learning a little bit every time we do a read, but we're learning that when you are not addressing your own wounds, things that need to be healed, it will manifest as mental health disorders. And then when you decide to blanket it with some kind of action to get what you want, to manifest something you want in that state of unhealedness, it will also manifest what you want, but it will also manifest what you don't want, because that's how it works. And when you manifest in that energy, when you match the energy. So she already had underlying mental health concerns from when she was a child, and she may have done some kind of seance or something. Allegedly, this is all allegedly. And what we're realizing from all these celebrities that come forward to me, and I believe these celebrities would come to anybody who invited them, feel energy, Spirit just said, but I invite them with protection, with love, with light, and with an intention. Like, I want to know the truth. I want to know. I can't infringe on anyone's free will, so I can't read people who are here that haven't given me permission, because I wouldn't do that. But I can read for the energies that have crossed over, that I can ask to come forward if they want to. And some of them come forward without me even trying. And then I do the three is for me rule. Which if you guys watch me, you know that I say if it's three, it's for me. So I ask whatever energy or spirit, or loved one or celebrity that's passed, if they want a message to come through, to give me three signs that they want to speak. And so yesterday we did Kate Spade, but I also had in the lineup Hugh Hefner and Corey Feldman. And is it Corey Haim, or no, it's Corey Haim. I always get them confused because they were like brothers practically. So, um oh, sorry, I already read that. So Hugh Hefner gave me the fourth sign, actually gave me 3 and 4 today. So I was like, damn you, okay. So the first one was about 3 weeks ago. Well, really, honestly, he's given me like 5. But I'm not counting the first one. Well, maybe I should. The first one was, oh, that's so funny. This is not a game. If I, oh, okay, I'm sorry. Jeez, he's so serious. He just said this is not a game. If I count this first encounter of Hugh Hefner, the first encounter would match the fourth one. So on Sloan Hooks, which I love Sloan. He's a YouTuber. He does like celebrity gossip. I like to watch him while I like eat or something, without the kids around, just like, my guilty pleasure, just to feel energy of, those we put on a pedestal. It kind of gives me energetic insight into what's going on like a macro scale of the world, when I tap into that. So he was talking about rumors of, and I don't want to spread a rumor, but I'm just saying what sparked this um, connection. Uh, that P. Diddy's house was had tunnels underground that was connected to Hugh Hefner's house. Okay. So I was like, oh, interesting that of all celebrities, those two would have their houses connected. Like, I just thought that was weird. So that was the first one. That was weeks ago. Okay. And yes, it's him. Wow, what a beautiful soul taken such advantage of. Oh, well, I'm waiting for his confirmation for his reading, but he did come through and gave me one. So that was the first one. And then the second one, I was at work like 3 weeks ago, and there's a coworker who was trying to decide what costume her and her boyfriend were going to wear to a party or something, like at his family's party or something. And someone made a joke about going as Hugh Hefner and a bunny, and I was like, and I, I was like, I guess now I was thinking, okay, here's another Hugh Hefner reference. But I was also thinking that nowadays that wouldn't be a good costume because of what's going on with all of the stuff that's coming forward. Hugh Hefner might have been a part of that. So it actually wouldn't be a good costume at all. It'd actually be very offensive. And you might be told to leave the party, you know? So that was the second one. And then the third one, I had a coworker at work who had these sweatpants on that had the little Playboy bunny symbol, which I thought was so weird because I have never seen anyone wearing Playboy bunny sweatpants, let alone at my work. So I thought that was interesting. And then the fourth was today. I was bringing some boxes to the recycling bin, and I pushed this box in that was outside through the door, and then when I closed the door I turned around and I saw that the tape was cutting off the word on it, and it cut it off in such a way that it said Hugh. So I was like, damn. So, and then today I was eating my eggs, and Sloan came on again and had a little snippet about Hugh. So that was 6 things, and I think Hugh wants to come through. So we're going to connect with him and see what he has to say, and I'm so grateful to be able to connect and bring the messages forward. I'm looking for a new place to get a ride to the airport, to get a new car, get to be there in the next few days, and the other one is fine with me. P. Diddy is mental. I believe that about those tunnels to Hefner's. If not, there are tunnels leading somewhere without a doubt. P. Diddy was on a power trip. Oh, I think there's a lot more going on than we could possibly even know about, honestly. And I think what the things are that are connecting all of these celebrities that they want us to know when they come through is that they all did some kind of energy manipulation to get where they are. And we were talking yesterday about how you shouldn't have to be forced in order to be an actor or a singer or whatever comes with notoriety. You shouldn't have to do rituals, spells, seances, whatever they're doing to in order to manifest. You shouldn't have to do that, and it's wrong. And all of these celebrities, the thing they have in common is that they're doing it, and I'm not really sure yet why it has to be done this way. It might just be the time we're going out of. The energy shift might have a lot to do with why it's coming up so much, and why these celebrities are so um, indoctrinated into this occultism that is celebrity. So it's definitely a way that spirit is bringing true. Spirit just said true. It is a way that spirit's bringing this truth to light, because occult things that happen in the dark, if 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 we know about it, that can't work. Okay, so that's like the whole point. If we know that it's happening and we accept that it's happening, we do something about it, then it can't happen anymore. We allow what happens to happen. So, but first we have to be aware that it's happening. And if we pretend like nothing's happening, and then people will continue to get hurt, and people will be continue to be blackmailed, and people will continue to do things for money and fame because they have no moral fiber, because they do not stand in divine energy, because they don't know what that means. Too many to count. So we're not being judgmental, but we're definitely, if we're going into heart consciousness, this is something we need to be aware of. So idealism is nice, but I lost mine a long ago. Yes, cool sharing the puzzle pieces from spirit. I love connecting the pieces. Me too. So I'm gonna pull a card from my mediumship deck, because we are practicing mediumship, connecting in certain ways and learning how to read the energy. So I'm trying to also let it be educational for myself because I am doing this to enhance my abilities and also be of service to the collective. It's multidimensional. Thank you so much, angels, spirit guides, ancestors, loved ones. I am so grateful for all the messages, love, guidance, and support. I ask that you please connect me with the energy of Hugh Hefner if he is in a healed place and he would like to share his story and he's matching my energy or higher. I invite him into my field. If he is not in a healed place and not matching my energy, I invite his guides to be able to give us his human perspective so we can get a higher perspective of his linear view. Thank you so much. I am so blessed. I am truly blessed and highly favored, and I have everything I need, and I'm happy right now, and everything works out for me. Be of service. Be of service. When you are called to awaken the medium within you, it's also a calling to devote your life to a work of service. Oh, I'm gonna cry. It's truly an honor and a blessing to be of service to Spirit. Truly. If you hold an open and pure heart, the blessings from Spirit in return will be bountiful and endless. Ah, I'm gonna cry. Don't cry. Don't cry. The path of the medium should only be seen as a blessing and never a burden. The journey of development is not always easy or rewarding, but in serving Spirit from your heart, I'm crying. I'm so embarrassed. Oh, I love you, Spirit. But in serving Spirit from your heart, you'll be blessed with grace and support along your path, as Spirit will always be there for you. If this card is calling you, then it's time to start practicing what it means to be of service. Take time today to offer a random act of kindness, to volunteer for a cause that speaks to your heart, or to simply give a hug to someone you feel needs one. And serving those here in the living world, you're serving those in the spirit world. Remember that the main goal for Spirit is to bring healing, love, and light to the living. The spirit world will always love and support your compassion and kind work in the most unusual ways. Look for the beautiful blessings and signs from Spirit with gratitude, as it's Spirit's way to let you know you're moving in the right direction. Ah, that was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Spirit. I love you. So Spirit's just reminding us, or reminding me to come from a place of service when giving these messages, because they do have a little bit of darkness in them, and so I think that we lose kind of sight of what the message is, or I hope that we don't lose sight of what the message is. It's not about spiritus. I think what's going to come through may be a little darker. Hugh Hefner may have done some nefarious things, may have hurt people, and so I think that by coming from a place of being of service, we can illuminate the reason why he did these things. That's kind of like the feeling I'm getting from this. Maybe that was the heavy energy that I felt in the beginning, for sure. Let me say a prayer. These things happen every moment of every day with lower stakes at hand. I think what we're talking about is the same effect on your own stuff, but I don't know what to say about the new one, but it's the same effect that you can do for me if I can find. Honestly, David, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm so sorry. I don't know if I missed something, if I missed a message, but I'm like, I don't understand exactly what you're speaking of. Let us glorify our Savior, who chose the Virgin Mary for his mother. Let us ask him, may your mother intercede for us. Lord, Son of Justice, the Immaculate Virgin was the white dawn announcing your rising. Grant that we may always live in the light of your coming. Lord, help us imitate Mary, your mother, who chose the best part. May we seek the... Hugh Hefner may have had a mother wound. May we seek the food that will sustain us forever. Savior of the world, by your redeeming might, you preserved your mother beforehand from all stain of sin. Keep watch over us, lest we sin. You are our Redeemer, who made the Immaculate Virgin Mary your purest home and the sanctuary of the Holy Spirit. Make us temples of your Spirit forever. Interesting. Yeah, I think he was telling us he may have had some kind of mother wound, some kind of, that may be why he chose to treat women the way he did. A lack of respect for them, a lack of, just kind of treating them like objects. You know what I was thinking today also? Anyone who's ever been a Playboy model never actually came out on top. Have you noticed that? Like, specifically, I remember in like when Playboy was like a really big thing in my lifetime was like the early 2000s and during wrestling, and there was like Sable and China, China, and they were in the Playboy. And I remember looking at, because I had friends across the street who were obsessed with wrestling, and they were had Playboys. They're all boys, and I remember thinking, this isn't real. These women aren't real. They didn't feel real. They felt like objects. They felt like dolls. They were like turned into like these objects or something like that. I don't know if that's relevant, but I want to hug you in the future of the non such label. I don't know what you're talking about, David. I'm so sorry. I'm just gonna keep going. Yeah, definitely. Normally it's daddy issues. Yeah, well, I don't know for sure. We'll see. Hugh, let me know what's going on here. Oh, jeez. I'm gonna let you look in a second. There's a lot to look at here. Look at this. So, let me see. It kind of looks like a make-believe world, like some kind of idealism. Everything artsy. Everything artsy back in the house. Such an adventure using your guidance and general lessons. Oh my gosh. Shout out to Queen Patience, the most articulated and fun streamer. Artsy. You get me. Vibe tribe. Looks like a playground. Yes, Algie. Yes, it looks like a playground. Like some most likely Spirit just said, come through, Algie. Yes. Interpret the messages with me. Yeah, it looks like some kind of self-imposed playground, some kind of like fun house. Like everything is oddly placed. It's like I mean, even the mountains. It's like some weird manscape. Like there's got fruit in the rainbow. He's building this wall. There's a dog looking at the wall. There's like so, it feels chaotic. It feels like nonsensical. It feels kind of childlike, childish. Sad circus vibes. Yeah, it feels very like delusional, like a child who has the ability to have everything. I don't know. It feels very like, I don't know how to describe it. Like somebody who knows what they want, but what they want is very delusional. Somebody who's able to achieve what they want, but they don't have clarity to have like purposeful function or something. Does that make sense? Pee-wee's Playhouse. Yes, I agree. Feels wrong. Thank you. Yes. So, but you know what's also I noticed is that Spirit just said behind, and I was just looking at the landscape. It's on Mother, it's on Earth. It's like in a grounded place. It's like ungrounded energy trying to pretend that it's grounded. Does that make sense? I also see mushrooms over here. Absolutely. Spirit just said absolutely to mushrooms. So oh shit. Hugh Hefner could have been doing psychedelics or could have been on some kind of hallucinogen or something. Oh my gosh, didn't we just say childlike? Look, maybe this could be his mother. His mother could have been very critical of him, very criticizing, maybe favoring a sister or a female energy, or wishing he was a girl instead of a boy, something like that. That's really sad when that happens. I don't know the background of Hugh Hefner. Like, I don't know if he has siblings or anything like that, but this child looks like they're just boy. I have a boy, and I know that he gets in a lot more. He's a lot more curious than my daughter, and the difference between them, I think, is instinctual. It's very different in that boys are a little more impulsive. They're a little more curious. They follow that curiosity with action, where girls are a little more hesitant. They think a little more. They may be maybe even like a little bit overthinking, where they hold back a little bit in that sense, but they also talk more. They're more talkative. They're more communicative. Boys are more action oriented and get in and will hurt themselves more often, like fall down, or they're very messy, and so there's like differences that are distinctive. Hugh Hefner. Demonic presence. Oh, Jesus. Oh, jeez. Spirit just said demonic presence. Hmm. There's a leaf coming out of her back. And there's a bunch of kids strung out behind her. Hmm. And she's looking at this child like he's doing something wrong, but really, what is he doing wrong? I mean, he just made a little bit of a mess, but I wouldn't say that he's doing anything wrong. He has a tugboat behind him. He's got he's got a paint in his hair. Stop. No way. Stop. I'm just going to say it for the data. I don't know if it's true yet. We'll see what comes up. But Hugh Hefner may have been gay. Hugh Hefner might have been a repressed gay man. And his mother may have not liked that about him. Or his mother treated him like a girl, or like made him feel bad for not being a girl. And that did something to mess him up. Something like that. Hi. And that is what led to Hugh Hefner's Spirit just said definitely. That is what led to Hugh Hefner's objectifying of women. Look at this. Another mother reference telling him that he's wrong, that he's doing something wrong again. Well, I guess working untidily in a tidy environment is somewhat sticking out. This mother of his may have been extremely overcritical of him because he wasn't a girl, because she wanted a girl. And so it may have caused within him some kind of distortion that he can never do anything right, and that because he was gay. Which there's nothing wrong with being gay, but wouldn't that be something if, I mean, in that era, in that time era, to be gay, you're not, it wasn't something you could be openly, right? It may have caused a distortion in him to be inauthentic to himself, to be something he didn't want to be. Some kind of weird distortion of how he looked at women. It's like he wanted to objectify women because he hated his mom? Huh. Numbers. Hugh Hefner. Hugh Hefner may have been secretly gay, but his mother may have made him feel bad about that. Either, Spirit said definitely, so bitters, okay. He may have had gay characteristics or very feminine characteristics, and his mother didn't like it. His mother may have criticized him. He was kind of a wild child. He was a rebel. He liked to get messy. He was very artistic. He may have liked to wear his clothes a certain way. He had his own style. His mother didn't like that. His mother wanted him to be prim and proper, do as you're told, be very masculine, things like that. So it definitely led to a distortion of how he viewed women because his mom was constantly criticizing him. And so the mother's criticizing him here because he's standing on his head. Or maybe Spirit just said wrong. So, or maybe he would do things that were wrong that constantly needed criticism or that needed to be him to be reprimanded or something like that. He may have been the black sheep. He may have had delusions of grandeur. He may have had some kind of distortion of reality. Um, he may have developed this as a child. You know, I've been learning about personality disorders, and they develop as a child from some kind of trauma, right? When your mind is very pliable and it's very like easily susceptible to influence. And what happens is if you have some kind of trauma that you endured, your childlike mind will create a fantasy or a bubble of uh, illusory reality for you to cope, for you to be able to cope with reality, because what your true reality is too hard for you to deal with. It's a coping mechanism. It's how your brain hi a new moon. Hello. How your brain can um still keep going and cope at the same time. So confirmed he married but gay. Sounds familiar in people I know. Yes, I'm helping people heal from bad mom behavior. I mean, ugh, oh geez. Hmm. I'm gonna reshuffle. That kind of came out weird. Oh wait, there's one on the board that I didn't even know came out. Hmm. So this this behavior, this 1930s. Spirit said 1930s. This behavior, this time and time again, numerable times he was criticized by his mother. This may have led him to be pushed into some kind of um, illumination about something. He may have started to educate himself about something. May have wanted or may have started learning about something, or there's other insects around. It's almost like they're having like a group study or something, or they're having like some kind of meeting or some kind of get together where they're getting illuminated about something, where they're learning about something, they're having some kind of literature read to them about something that they all come together for to be illuminated about. Flowers. There's flowers everywhere. Yesterday, I read a card in my mediumship about uh uh where is it? About flowers and how psychometry and the first said false. Okay. I don't know why I thought that might be connected. Spirit said false. So what else would flowers symbolize? Something that, something dressed up, something that is like, looks like something else, something they're learning that looks like something else, something that's dressed up, something that smells like flowers, something that's covered up with flowers, something that's um it kind of reminds me of, this is a metaphor, like when you go take a shit and you spray the you spray the spray to mask the shit smell, but it just smells like, shit flavored flowers or something. you know so something that they were being illuminated about that was being dressed up in a certain way than what it was, is what I'm getting. Okay. Oh, look at this. Pictures. This little girl's taking a picture. Didn't he take pictures of centerfolds? And look, his mom's walking away. So something he was doing, in something he started doing secretly, maybe taking pictures, or maybe pictures were taken of him, or something that sparked his interest um in nudity, and like nudity and having city and having his picture taken, or taking pictures of something. I have a bear here, and I have a big squirrel here. So he may have been taken under someone's wing. He may have had some kind of mentor that recognized his unique qualities and took advantage of them, and made him feel empowered in some way to do something that wasn't exactly like morally correct by his mother's standards, something that he found to be exciting, something that he had fun doing, but he knew it was like something that wouldn't be approved of. All right, let me get some details here. Spirit, where do you want me to go? You want me to go to the dream book? Okay. What is this? Tell me what is this thing that he was illuminating about? Oh my gosh, look. Fruit and there's fruit in this rainbow. Grape, pear, peach, coconut, and look at all the fruit in the rainbow. He wanted to have a reputation for being decadent. But he knew it would take a lot of heat and sunshine to ripen, to turn grapes into wine. He wanted to be, he felt like he wanted to be fed grapes to symbolize sensual luxury and a relaxed attitude towards sex. He wanted to have orgies, Roman orgies. He may have, he may have, what's the word? Um, what is that word? He may have liked like the Roman era. He may have aspired or found like motivation for that kind of life through like the Roman Empire. He like kind of he may have liked that era because of their relaxed attitude towards sex. He wanted to be seen in like he was someone of sensual luxury, that he was decadent, that someone who would have to be fed grapes, like some kind of person of authority. He wanted to have sexual orgies with pear-shaped women. He oh, okay. He never wanted an apple that sagged. He used women to express something that he slumped. He may have had some kind of erectile dysfunction or something because he's gay. He's not attracted to women. So he would choose women with pear-shaped bodies that were very attractive to the population, to make himself appear like he had some kind of imitable. He was imitating what he thought men wanted. He was imitating that, but women didn't even give him erection because he's gay. He's not attracted to women. Uh, Pair may indicate subconscious awareness that elements of your life are less than ideal. Oh, how funny. He picks pear-shaped women in imitating a straight man because that's what he thinks he has to be in order to achieve a decadent lifestyle. Because he wants to be viewed as somebody who yes, I have, who symbolizes sensual luxury. And he wanted to portray this because of his upbringing where he wasn't allowed to be himself. He had to pretend to get, in order to get his mother's affection, he had to pretend to be something he wasn't. And so he learned at a young age that he had to put on a show. He had to put on an illusion that he was some kind of ladies' man, that he was some luxurious sexual deviant man. Like, ugh, that's just sad, okay? So subconsciously, he did that because this says right here that it actually signifies elements in his life that were less than ideal. Ugh. He chose women with velvety skin and rounded shapes because peaches are a sexual symbol. Um, he pretended to like he was being something he wasn't. Okay. Round, full milk coconuts are an obvious symbol of the female breast, but he wasn't attracted to breasts. He wasn't attracted to women. So he had to work very hard to pretend that he was rewarded by their milk and sweet flesh, because so that's standard. So that's why he made such a life of sexual decadence. Like, he was this man who was surrounded by women who gave him grapes, who fed him, who clothed him, who bathed him, because he was inadequate, that he wasn't even attracted to women, that and he couldn't stand the thought of being that person who his mother despised, because his mother saw in him exactly who he was, and she shamed him for that. Shame on her. Shoulders, arms, hands, fingers. He was really attracted to broad shoulders associated with strength, and it gave him fear, depression, and he liked to be submissive. He was weighed down with carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders, so he turned a cold shoulder to someone, to himself. Subconsciously, he was being warned that there was an easier way of living life, but he chose the latter because he didn't want to make people feel uneasy in his company, and he didn't want people to know that he was gay. In combination with his reasoning brain, it was responsible for the development of his civilization, of his reality. His inability to be flexible opposed what he truly wanted to create and brought about his destruction. With his own hands, with his own hands, he took his life and made it look good when it was ill, handing over control to another person. Ugh, it's sad. This is sad. He didn't want to injure his ego by being something his mother criticized him for being, because he thought that he wouldn't be loved. So he made a whole life around being something he wasn't, and portraying himself as this ladies' man so he can look on the outside like he was some successful, sexual, masculine man, when really he likes broad shoulders and and men with strength. That's what he's attracted to. But because he wasn't attracted to women, he may have had erectile dysfunction disorders. He may have been somebody who had to take, like, what's it called? Viagra and stuff, just to be able to have sex with women. And he may have done a lot of drugs in order to pretend to be something he wasn't. He created this life, and because he was sure, because he was living a life of inauthenticity, eventually he was alone. He was alone. Nobody was around who truly loved him the way that he wanted to be loved. And the ironic thing is he created this life that his mother shamed him, or he created a life that his mother would have approved of instead of shaming him for. And he ended up being alone and feeling alone, because that wasn't actually anyone around him who truly loved him for who he was, because he was never his authentic self. And he may have treated people poorly because he, and especially women, because every woman that he encountered just reminded him of his mother, who didn't allow him to be himself, and he had to pretend to be somebody he's not around these women who think that he's one way when he's really another. It's like a horrible, vicious cycle. It's very sad. Very, very sad. I'm very sorry that you could not be authentic. You had to pretend to be something you're not.
Look on shelf.
Oh, so tell us about the tunnels. Okay, what is with the tunnels? Oh my gosh, such a narc. It's okay as long as we do unto others as we would have done to ourselves. For God is first Teresa with love. So he put up a front. It's a necrometer. It's a electric voice phenomenon catcher. All right, Hugh, tell us more. We understand now why why you felt the need to have so many women around you, half naked, worshiping you because you were so inadequately uncomfortable. Plainly this, that man is a being whom we know by experience, whose motives and designs we are acquainted with, and whose projects and inclinations have a certain connection and coherence according to the laws which nature has established for the government of such a creature. This is the inquiry concerning human understanding. When, therefore, we find that any work has proceeded from the skill and industry of man, as we are otherwise acquainted with the nature of the animal, we can draw 100 inferences concerning what may be expected from him. And these inferences will all be founded in experience and observation. Yes, he observed in order to be accepted, he had to behave like a natural man would, a creature of government that would like curvy women and want to be surrounded by naked women, and that's what straight men act. So let me be a um a very exploded version of what a straight man looks like. Ugh. But did we know man only from the single work or production which we examine? It would be impossible for us to argue in this manner, because our knowledge of all the qualities which we ascribe to him, being in that case derived from the production, it is impossible they could point to anything further or be the foundation of any new inference. Uh, he found it impossible to be himself in the time he was in. It wasn't possible in his perspective for him to have it all, for him to have money, for him to have because he equated love with adoration, with worship. That's what he wanted because he didn't receive that. So it's the same with all celebrities. We're finding people who are unhealed, who are looking for love outside of themselves or validation, seek celebrity or notoriety or public recognition as a way of receiving love. And that's just not true. It's just not true. You can't receive love outside of yourself. He may have found some kind of avenue that elicited money for something very specific, but he had to play the role in order to produce this production that he put on, that he adapted to what he observed from human behavior of what men want. And he capitalized on that, and he objectified women because he didn't respect women, because confirmation, because he himself didn't have a woman figure who respected him for who he was. And so he didn't see a problem with it because this is all happening subconsciously. But he may have grown to resent women, to hate women. For one, he was he put himself into a role where he objectified women based on his observations of society of what men wanted, and he made money off of it. But then, in order to uphold that standard and to continue making money off of it, he has to be that person that, um, you know, that objectifies women and that is attracted to women and that has sex with women and he has women all around him at his disposal. But that's not exactly what his heart actually wanted. So he couldn't even get erect for these women because he's not attracted to them, which is fine. So that made him angry too, you know? It's very sad. Um, but the print of a human foot proves likewise from our other experience that there was probably another foot which also left its impression, though effaced by time or other accidents. Here we mount from the effect to the cause, and descending again from the cause, infer alterations in the effect. But this is not a continuation of the same simple chain of reasoning. We comprehend in this case 100 other experiences and observations concerning the usual figure in members of that species of animal, without which this method of argument must be considered as fallacious and sophistical. Fallacious. What does fallacious mean? I'm not sure what fallacious means. Hold, please. Fallacious. Fallacious?
Here's the definition of fallacious based on a mistaken belief.
He thought. He thought, he believed that if he could manipulate enough people, that pretty soon it would change who he was. He believed that who he was real and that who he really wanted to be was wrong. Because his mother made him feel like it was wrong from a young age, and so he built a reality around himself where he must be wrong. The way he is must be wrong, and so he has to correct that. And if he sleeps with enough women, and he objectifies enough women and he does enough sexual things, that eventually it's going to be true that he's not gay, that he's just, something, something he can fix. But you can't change who you are. If that's who you are, then be who you are. He might not have been famous, but at least he would have been happy. Ugh, it's very sad. All right. Well, tell us about his connection with Diddy, if any. What's the connection there? Where do you want me to go? Where do you want me to go? What should I do? I have too many to choose from. Let's do the inbox. We'll do the inbox. Maybe he needed to have a talking machine to help him relax into his body brain.
60.
Isn't that written in the Bible somewhere? Isn't that written in the Bible somewhere? So his mother may have made him believe that being gay is wrong because of her religious beliefs. Let me tell you something right now. God made everything. Every experience happening right now, every human having their own experience, God made that. Whether you're psychic, whether you're gay, whether you're bisexual, whether you're trans, whatever experience you're having, God is having that experience through you. And so every experience is valuable to God. You cannot read a book that says it's wrong to be something and then treat everybody who's that wrong. You can't do that because There, no matter where you go, there's good and bad people, whether they're gay or not. Just because you're gay and the Bible says you can't be gay doesn't mean that it's right, and doesn't mean that that gay person's a bad person because they're gay. You can't help your sexual preference and what turns you on or what you're attracted to. Just like you can't help being psychic, or you can't help who you feel like you are. So this is just because the Bible says you can't be gay doesn't make it true. And this is a prime example of what happens when you repress who you are because some book told you can't be that. This is why we need to understand energy. This is why we need to understand it's not just black or white. There's like it's so many dimensions. There's so much more to the picture than this narrow viewpoint. And in that time, that's just the way it was. It's just Hugh Hefner was ahead of his time, I guess. And his upbringing really catalyzed his belief that who he was wrong. And that's sad. The 50s, yeah, Spirit said 50. Look, Dave, I miss the old days too, but our wives would kill us. So he may have had an actual relationship as a gay man with somebody close to him that he may have had to separate from because it would kill his reputation. And he chose his reputation over being authentic, is what happened. And he may have missed out on a awesome relationship that he could have shared with somebody that he had a connection with who was the same sex, because he didn't want to give up his notoriety or his fame or his image that he had worked so hard to create. Shh, babe, you talk too much. Yeah, so he objectified women and he didn't treat women right because he didn't respect them and he wasn't attracted to them. When you're everybody's been with somebody that they weren't attracted to, just even for a short period of time. You don't treat them the best. And I'm saying that too as someone. When I was younger, I did that. I was with somebody that I wasn't super attracted to, but for some reason, for whatever reason, I had a lesson to learn with them. And sometimes you do. Or you know what's a good example of that? Love is Blind. Hannah and Nick. Hannah and Nikki D, the latest Love is Blind on Netflix. Hannah wasn't attracted to him. Hannah didn't respect him. Hannah looked down on him and she treated him like that because she knew deep down that she wasn't attracted to him and that it wasn't going to last, and she didn't respect him. So she didn't treat him right. She didn't treat him like somebody like she loved him. And so that's how he treated a lot of these women. They were just objects for him to look good, to be arm candy. So that's why he didn't want them to sag, and he needed them to look a certain way, and they couldn't even come in his presence unless they dressed a certain way, unless they, you know what I'm saying? And that's objectifying women because he didn't respect women. And he wasn't even attracted to them. They were just a way for him to look a certain way. So, shh, babe, you talk too much. So he wasn't able to open himself emotionally to a woman because he had already given himself emotionally away to a man that he rejected because he couldn't have a relationship with them. Stop trying to get a rise out of me. Stop trying to get a rise out of me. It's clearly about his erectile dysfunction because he's not attracted to women. He had an erectile dysfunction disorder, not because his penis didn't work, but because it didn't work for women. Okay? So that may have caused some kind of distortion in his ego. Whatever, man. You can take that friendship anklet I made you and flush it for all I care. Ugh. Whatever, man. You can take that friendship anklet I made you and flush it for all I care. Yeah, he was emotionally constipated because he already gave away his one shot to have a relationship with the same sex that he threw down the toilet. And so that person probably never wanted to talk to him again because he made a choice, and you're not going to choose to keep being in someone's life who chose who didn't choose you, you know. I cannot even begin to understand you or your dumbass generation. That's how he treated women. He wanted women that didn't question him. He wanted women that were kind of, you know, not interested in having emotionally deep conversations with him because he wasn't able to give himself emotionally to a woman in general. It's literally 4 a.m. right now. Yeah, staying up late, partying, being this sexual, sensual person. It was all an image. It wasn't real. It wasn't real. His lifestyle wasn't real. He wasn't real. He wasn't happy. He just it was all an illusion. Dude, I can't have this conversation with you again. Move on. Yeah, no emotional depth. Just completely superficial, surface stuff. Spirit said send. What about the send? What about the send? What about it? I told you that would happen if you walked around in a Pennywise costume. So this person that he walked away from may have told him, if you continue down this road, you're just gonna end up old and alone. Wearing his costume, you know, his robe he always wore. That was just a costume. That wasn't something that that just chillingly. He wore that as a way to mask himself. He was just pretending. He just played a role. He wasn't, he didn't even know who he was. He walked away from somebody who told him that it would be the biggest mistake he ever made, and it was true. He ended up dying alone. Nobody cared about him. Nobody truly loved him because he didn't extend his emotional self to anybody because he was so superficial because he got his heart broken from a relationship he walked away from. LOL, I read this in the voice of SpongeBob. Yeah, terribly. Mm. Well, the thing I love about SpongeBob is that he has almost like childlike optimism all the time, you know? But this says read this in the voice of SpongeBob. So he was pretending that he was happy. He was pretending that this is what he wanted, that he lived the life that he always wanted, that he was exactly where he wanted to be, and it was all a lie. And you know what's so sad is that there's people out there who buy Playboy, who look up to Hugh Hefner, who consider Hugh Hefner some kind of role model, when really in reality he was far from that. He was not living authentically, and he wasn't even who he said he was. Maybe you'd have more friends if you didn't text people shit like this. Yeah, he treated people bad. He treated people like objects. They were just there to serve him because he wasn't able to emotionally connect with people because he wasn't in touch with his emotions. When you get home and your roommate ate all the leftover pasta fagioli you had saved from the night before, yeah, these Playboy bunnies that lived with him all at a time were his roommates. They just were his roommates. They weren't his lovers. They weren't his companions. They were roommates because he wasn't ever attracted to him. They were just there to put on a show. Correct. When the person you hooked up with once invites you over to meet their family, yeah, he hooks up with these women and pretends he wants relationships with these women, and then they want him to emotionally be open to them, to meet family, to connect with them on an emotional level, and he can't. When the person you hooked up with once invites you over to meet their family, he's not able to do it because he's never. Ugh. When you go for a high five and they go for a pound it, because so he was so awkward around them. He didn't know how to treat women. He didn't know how to be himself. He didn't know who he was. He was walking around like a teenager in an old person's body because he never allowed himself to be wanted to be. When you bring your boyfriend to your best friend's house and his phone automatically connects to the Wi-Fi because of his because he was hiding who he was, he may have had there's a dentist. He may have had boyfriends that he had on the side secretly that he could never actually commit to. So they were always, flings. They were always, he was having gay relations, but it was in secret. So he could never actually commit to them or have real, deep relationships with them. When Monday rolls around and you have to put a bra back on, you may have possibly liked to dress up like a woman as well. Just saying. All right, let me get one more and then we're going to close it out. Oh. When your parents blame their divorce on you. So, yeah, we already know he has mommy problems. His mother probably blamed him for his father leaving because you weren't masculine enough. Why weren't you this? Why weren't you that? And so, just a pivotal point of why he found it. He was like a cartoon character of what he thought a societal acceptable man is in the society in the time he was in, what it looks like. And it was this caricature of this man with a his robe on with a cigar, with women surrounding him, stroking his ego. Very, very caricature. That's what he observed men like. That's what would make him seem more masculine and make him more acceptable and make him money. And it made him money doing that. Association. Hugh, please tell us the lesson learned. In your journey, there will be times when you feel lost, confused, lonely, and angry. These are the times of transition. You won't feel those emotions forever. You are transitioning to a better, stronger version of yourself. Shed away those unneeded layers and keep growing. I feel bad for him. He died lonely. He may have had a lot of money and everybody knew who he was, but he didn't have any true relationships. He didn't nurture true emotional connection with anybody because he was emotionally disconnected from his emotions and from accepting that he was lonely, that he was confused, that he was lost, that he was angry. Every situation in life is temporary, so when life is good, make sure you enjoy and receive it fully. When life is not so good, remember that it will not last forever and better days are on the way. So I think what he wants us to know is that just because you feel just because you feel emotions doesn't mean that that's how you're going to feel all the time. And it's important, when you grow up, if you have parents that didn't accept you or that made you feel a certain way, that's not your fault. And that's not your fault that they made you feel that way, and that's awful. They shouldn't have done that. But it's up to you to identify that just because your parents feel that way doesn't make it true. And I think that what he wishes now is that he could have understood his emotions better. He could have detached a little better from his emotions, and instead of attaching himself to wanting to be what his mother wanted him to be, so much so just to get her love. Like, that's really sad. And so every person in his life, he was pretending to be a certain way just to receive love in the end. Spirit didn't really touch on too much of the maybe distasteful, abusive behavior he may have done. And I think that that's fine. That's not something that we have to talk about. I think it's pretty much inferred. But I think what Spirit wants us to focus on is that confirmation is that life is going, when you come here in a human vessel, it's going to be good and bad at the same time. And it's up to you how what you do with it. And in Hugh's circumstance, he it's like he chose to be something he wasn't, to receive love, and he didn't understand that by doing that it was ultimately his downfall, and why he died, and why he died alone and lonely, because he couldn't accept himself the way he was. He had to have something outside of himself in order to be accepted, and that's just, you'll never find it that way. Okay. Well, how can we heal it? Can I get one card to tell us how we could heal something like that? What do you no longer want to wait for? A mother's love. Just accept that your mother's not in a place to love you properly, the right way, because she loves you unconditionally. Love is unconditional. There shouldn't be any conditions. Stop waiting for that person to show you that they love you. They don't even love themselves. If somebody's putting a condition on you that you have to be a certain way to get their love, you don't need it. You don't need their love. That's somebody you can move on from, even if it's your mother, even if it's your sister, your brother, your best friend, whoever it is. You don't have to wait around for them to, or be what they want you to be for them to love you. You're lovable without them. And to not, Spirit said doll. Yeah. You don't have to be a doll or be something you're not to be loved. There's plenty of people out there who will love you just the way you are and accept you unconditionally. Okay? We love you, collective. Hope it helps. Bye.